nearly as cold as it was this time last week. So we are warming up for a New Year's Eve, and we're here to talk about the KSU Owls on the Owls Show.
Hooty-hoo!
My name's Chuck Burge, here with my co-host and partner, Mr. Robert Kidd.
I'm the co-post.
The goalpost, or something like that.
And our the grandkid.
And our favorite intern,
the grandkid.
ATI, the grandkid, Adam Crooks. Adam, thanks for being with us, buddy.
You're welcome.
Did you have a good Christmas?
I did. Great Christmas.
Tell us about what you did for Christmas.
I had to go into work on Christmas Eve night, which is a whole nother story.
Target, right?
Yes.
They owe us, so go ahead.
They do owe us.
That's a whole nother story. And then I stayed at home, did nothing all day Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I got some nice tickets to the Hawks-Pistons game to see my boy Jaden Ivey. We ate a roast and some mashed potatoes, and then I went to work on Monday.
There you go.
But you were off all day Sunday for Christmas?
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, you mentioned something I want to ask you about. I can't even remember what it was. That's how old I am.
Eating roast?
No. Like you didn't go anywhere Sunday. That's cool.
No,
so
we did not.
I was supposed to have Christmas with both of my sons, and Chip lives in Decatur, my older son, and the whole plan was Kevin was coming down to Nashville, and we were going to hang out all day on Christmas Eve and play Catan. You play Catan?
I do not.
Neither do I, but I played about 20 games of it between New Year's, Christmas Eve and New Year's Day. Chip, Kevin couldn't get here because of weather problems in Nashville. Couldn't drive, and he got on a 7:15 flight on Saturday morning to come home and be here like 9. And guess what? That got canceled.
Flight was canceled.
Then there was on another one later, and it got canceled. So I'm not even having Christmas yet. So I haven't had any Christmas presents yet. Chip did give me a Festivus present.
Festivus.
Yes, and it's on the shirt. It says airing your grievances, and the other one says the feats of strength.
Okay.
So me and Chip did a little bit of the feats of strength, but I got a lot of problems with
you know
people.
Festivus?
Yes.
How
Did
you
you
know?
air your grievances?
No.
You didn't?
I find tinsel very distracting.
I find tinsel very distracting. You know, I was talking to the camera while you guys were conversing. I don't know about that game.
Catan? I don't know about it either.
It's
I
like
just seen it on the
colonization
shelves.
or something like that.
Okay, so it's
Gotcha.
Build empires and stuff like that. And I always win the longest road. That's my goal, to win the 2 points for the longest road. And I was within one turn of beating Chip.
So if you build the Trans-Canadian Highway or the Trans-Siberian Highway, you get points.
Apparently.
I have a really long road.
There's cities and settlements and all that stuff. It's a fun game. But they are obviously a lot more skilled at it than that. I think Chip won 3 games and Kevin won 3 games, and I almost won 1. So
I did also play football on Christmas Eve. I played in the Santa Bowl. I threw 5 touchdowns. Had a couple catches.
Where did you play the Santa Bowl?
I have a friend that has a giant turf field in his backyard.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I threw 5 touchdowns. I was pretty proud of that one.
I would have liked to play in that game.
We
Were
did
you calling
lose.
yourself Drew Brees the whole time?
No, but I should have.
Absolutely.
Cool breeze.
We
That's
did
what you
lose in overtime, though.
I played a game of football. I kid you not. Lots of people who could back up this story. We used to play. It was tackle, and we tried to not tackle, but everybody got tackled. And I was playing during the Bills-Oilers AFC wild card in 1993, and I was a Bills fan. So everything I did on the field was, Bruce Smith does this, Jim Kelly does this, and then we got home. We got back to my buddy Scott's house, and it was like, no, you're losing really bad. But I did get to watch the whole comeback.
That's cool. My favorite football memory is we used to have a family game, Christmas Eve. My mom had 7 brothers and sisters, so I had many cousins. And on Christmas Eve, we divide up and have a big football game. And at the time, my older brother was late 30s or so, and one of my nephews was like 18, or one of my younger second cousins. And he just cold-cocked my brother. It was 20 years older than him. And the next time they had the ball, I let him have it. I laid out the best block of anybody you're ever going to see. And we saw it on a film, a family old movies. And I just laughed. I said, I remember that block.
Just
That was
remember,
great.
anybody who's thinking about playing some football, make sure that it's not like a scene from Wedding Crashers, because there's a lot of D-bags out there who would like to really hurt you.
Yes, there
Yeah.
are. That would have been me. I did not take well to my brother being hurt. So,
No.
all right, I guess we ought to get back into what we're here for. We're here to talk about KSU sports. We're very happy to represent the KSU Owls here at Miller's Owl House on Wednesday nights. And not a whole lot going on this time of year, but we do have a little basketball. I went to a girls' basketball game last week, and they got beat by 3 at the buzzer. They actually had a chance to tie it up at the buzzer, and it didn't work out. But the guys then came back and played in
Bloomington.
Bloomington at Simon whatever Assembly Hall.
Assembly Hall.
Assembly Hall.
Indiana Wants Me. You
Tough
remember that song,
game.
Robert?
Yes.
Yes.
Who sang it? You remember?
No.
No, but I know the words.
Ardeen Taylor. Another one-hit wonder of the 70s.
I know the words.
Musical professor.
Just-
Of 70s, not anything past the 70s.
Probably 80s.
But I did watch the game. Did you get to watch it when we texted? Because Robert and I tech a good bit.
Well,
now.
it's funny.
You
When
don't have the BTN?
So it's not BTN. It's the Big Ten Network.
It is the Big Ten
So
Network.
when everybody started sending me things, because of autocorrect, everybody who told me what channel it was on, it came through as something else. I'm like, I still haven't figured out what channel it's on. No, I did not have BTN, so I did not watch it.
They're almost as good as BTO, but not quite. I like BTO.
I like BTO way better.
Yeah. But we played a pretty good basketball game. We were up 41-40, if I remember, with about 10 minutes left. I think that's when you texted me and when we were up.
It was tied 27 all at half, and like
Yep.
you said, 41-40, and then
The bottom fell out.
and-
But,
Yeah.
but we didn't play that badly.
not at all.
We shot really well from the field. We shot 50% from threes, I think. And we played a pretty good ball game. So we lost to the number 18 team in the country at their home court. And we were respectable. And
And that was on Christmas Eve, correct?
on Christmas.
Wasn't it on
No.
Saturday?
It was just
Friday.
It was Friday.
Friday.
So it was on the
23rd.
23rd. That's not an easy
No.
travel
Yeah.
game to play. You
Yeah.
know,
No, and they left at at 5 o'clock in the morning, they told us, last Thursday morning
crazy.
to go to the game. So, all in all, a very good trip
Absolutely.
up to Bloomington
Yeah.
in Indiana. And that's not something to take lightly. They're a pretty good ball club. I think they've won 6 straight home games now, which is a school
Something
record.
like that.
Yeah.
I would like to point out they were without their star player Trace Jackson Davis. He didn't.
Indiana.
Indiana was,
Was. He didn't. I don't know why he didn't play, but he didn't play for some strange reason.
Yeah.
I
But-
assure you this: had Trace Jackson known it was going to be 41-40,
He
he'd have
might have
played
played,
that
yeah.
He
game.
might have played. Yeah.
It was a heck of a game. They put forth a great effort.
And I think they had the rest of the week off for Christmas, and I think the girls actually play tomorrow night. Is that right?
Correct.
And the girls are where?
They're playing. I just clicked a button and made it all go away. They're playing Coastal Georgia.
And I didn't even know there was a Coastal Georgia. I've heard of Coastal Carolina. What is the nickname of Coastal Georgia, Adam?
Coastal Georgia. That one I don't know.
Robert's checking it out. ATI pulls out his phone.
I'm reading the article here, but I don't see.
It doesn't mention their school mascot. And then we also have the guys are going to play Friday night, I think, home, and I think it's the opening of the
A-Sun
A-Sun
schedule.
conference. Yeah,
This is the last game before the women get into the A-Sun schedule. So
yeah. So playing Indiana that well, going into the A-Sun probably helped them more than anything else.
absolutely, and you know, that's the story of every college basketball year. You a lot of times when you're a smaller school, you go on the road and you're playing a lot of Goliaths, and you might not win a lot of those battles with Goliaths, but they make the teams that you're competing against for a conference championship seem much easier.
And they've had some pretty good ball games on the road. They went to Ole Miss and lost by 10. They went to Florida and lost by 10. And, there was somebody else, too. And now they've gone to Indiana and lost by 14, a little bit more. But not a bad effort by
Not at all.
the guys.
What'd you come up with?
They are the Mariners.
The Mariners.
The Mariners. Wow.
I'll figure that. Coastal is the Mariners. Well, no,
Coastal Carolinas, the Chanticleers. That's got nothing to do with it.
That's from Aesop's Fables.
Yes, it is.
Damn, look at you go.
I need Adam on
On your trivia team?
on our trivia team. Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys saw this, that did you see the tennis schedule came out?
The tennis
I
schedule.
did not.
Both men's and women open up on the 16th of January against the Mercer Bears.
And I just want to go off on one of my small tangents. We talk
I love your tangents.
We talk about how KSU is up and coming, and I got a buddy, Hal B. He was actually here for our very first show. He was at a Georgia Tech basketball game, screaming at everything going on, and saying, no basketball players are going to Georgia or Georgia Tech. This is KSU's chance. We need to get some of these players. But when you look at what we're doing by moving up to Conference USA and the people that should start coming, we are already global. Now, are you ready for a breakdown of the tennis team? This is going to sound...
Is it a lot like the golf team?
It is so much like the golf team, and it's not just the girls' tennis team or the guys' tennis. It's all of them. Here's the breakdown of the girls' tennis team. 2 Spaniards, 1 Swede, 1 girl from South Korea, 1 Argentinian, 1 girl from Florida, and 1 girl who went to Milton in Georgia.
So just like the golf team, there's only 1 girl from Georgia that's on the golf team.
At least,
our friend Tori.
There's 2 Americans on the team.
Yeah.
But here on the guys' team, 2 more Spaniards. So we've got 4 Spaniards playing tennis at KSU. 2 Englishmen, 1 Bolivian, 1 guy from India, and another guy from Japan. We don't even have an American playing tennis. Now, there's no problem with that. We're finding the best talent that's available to come to our school. Well, guess what? That's what these guys are doing. And I think based on what Matt Emery has been doing by bringing all this talent in, there's going to be a lot of good things going on at the Betsy Siegel courts over the spring.
To me, it seems a little early. I hope they have indoor courts.
It actually is a very early season. The season starts in January.
On the 16th.
And is done by the 8th of April.
Yeah, but if they play
time-
outside, that's going to be cold.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you imagine if they were playing in last week's weather?
That would be freezing. I'd hate to play in that.
Crazy weather.
I'd hate to play anything in that, much less tennis.
Yeah.
And there's got to be because in January and February, I'm sure something's outside. I don't know.
There's a lot of things that are outside.
Well, I'm sure some of these tennis players are going to be outside.
Yeah, they will be cold. They will be playing. Now, who are coming to KSU that people could go see?
Let's see. On the guys' side, we have Mercer, Sanford, Presbyterian, Gardner-Webb, Georgia Southern, Georgia Tech, Fairfield, South Carolina State, University of North Florida, Stetson, and Eastern Kentucky.
And Georgia Tech. You
We got Georgia Tech in there.
I said Georgia Tech.
Yep, you did. That's a good visiting school.
And then for the girls, there will be Mercer's coming to town, UAB, South Carolina State, Georgia State, North Florida, Stetson, and Eastern Kentucky. So about the same schedule.
Does Georgia Tech even have a women's tennis team? Surely they do.
I'm sure
They
do.
must have.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that's pretty cool.
Probably not as good as KSU's team.
Yeah.
Probably not. I'm a little surprised about the globalness of all the sports. But that, again, speaks to, we had some people here earlier at our Three Guys Who Love Sports show that said they don't need to worry about winning, moving up to Conference USA. They need to win where they are now. But I think that's kind of putting the cart before the horse. The exposure that we're now getting and that we need to expand on. I mean, look at these different countries that we're now being exposed to because one person chose to come here and play tennis or to play golf or even to play football.
Right, and, short-sighted and naive. I did not know a lot about KSU sports a year ago, but I can tell you right now that these programs are out looking for talent. They don't care where that talent is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Well, let's do this before we get too far in. Let's go ahead and do a commercial for our good friends at Modern Image.
Modern Image is a locally owned document and photograph scanning company that helps clients secure and use paper files and photos. Whether it's important business files or sentimental family photos and videos, Modern Image is dedicated to helping clients solve problems around paper. Hooty hoo.
Hooty hoo and go dogs. Had them sitting there waiting for me to say it, so I got to say it. And I got to tell you a little bit something about Modern Image. Back in the 1980, I was on Family Feud.
Way back
Before Adam was even thought of.
Have I heard this? I have heard this story before.
Yeah, but I went and had the only copy of this in existence on VHS, and I took it to Modern Image, and they transferred it over to flash drive. And my brother, in his infinite wisdom, said, "You know what? None of our nieces and nephews have ever seen this." So he had 15 copies of it made.
That's awesome.
And gave them all copies of Family Feud. So I will not be reading texts from my nieces and nephews for a few weeks because I don't want to hear what they got to say about the show.
Now, to people who are young, maybe like Mr. Crooks down here at the end of the table, there was no Mr. Harvey back then.
No, it was
that was the original.
Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson, yeah.
Correct.
It was the very first year the show was on.
What?
I've seen old Family Feuds.
Okay. What TV show did he come from?
Ooh,
Hogan's Heroes.
He came from
Hogan's Heroes.
Wait, what game show?
We knew
or
you knew
what?
that, Pop.
Hogan's Heroes.
He
was also on the match game.
If he was, I was thinking of the match game, but if he was on Hogan's Heroes with Jim Neighbors.
Neighbors
no, that was Gomer Pyle.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Those are the types of answers I was looking for a
Shazam.
poor guy who wasn't born 30 years before.
But I did know he was on the match game because
Yeah.
I have watched old tapes of the match
He
game.
was pretty good. Well, it's on Game Show Network, so it's pretty cool
Yes.
to watch.
Absolutely.
Because they got some really nice-looking ladies that were on there, so I watched Game Show. But trying to talk about Modern Image, and my brother, the same one that bought this, also had all the 8mm movies that my mom and dad made when I was a baby, and he got them all put on flash drive for me, and I watched them over the holidays. And it's been a long time since I've seen myself at my first Christmas and my first Easter and all that stuff. So kudos to Modern Image. We want to give David McDonough great props for taking care of my family for Christmas, and hope he can do the same for you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I just pulled up another schedule that's getting ready to happen, the track and field schedule.
Ooh.
Now, unlike the tennis, they actually have it split up with indoor, outdoor. So, they're a little more used to this stuff. But, because of the way they do it, there's actually only 2 home meets. But they will be going to Baylor, Kentucky, Samford, Vanderbilt, Clemson, Virginia Tech, Georgia, Texas, NC State,
Georgia Tech.
Georgia. Yeah, so a lot of traveling.
That's a lot of high major meets.
It is a lot of major meets, but that's the way the track and field likes to roll. The track and field doesn't want to do one-on-one. They bring in 15 schools or 20 schools and say, have at.
And we've had several athletes go out to Corvallis, Oregon for the Nationals.
That's correct.
I think one guy even won the shot put for the nation.
That's this guy. I can't remember his name, but he's the picture who's on the schedule.
The big old dude. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what happened in KSU sports this year and what was important. And I think, well, probably the second biggest thing was how far we got in the baseball regionals. Got down to Mississippi State.
LSU.
Well, there was Mississippi State and one other school and LSU in a regional, and we lost an amazing game, 14-11 or something like that, to LSU, right?
Yeah, we were winning. We were winning on a Saturday night against LSU, and it didn't work out for us in the long run. I think bullpen depth and a few other things that a big school can bring to the table a lot easier than KSU could this year. But a phenomenal year, and
And we won the next night, and then we lost the one to move on to the
Correct.
regionals. Yeah.
Yeah.
The super regionals.
regionals.
Yeah. So kudos to Coach Coe and the baseball team, and no reason for them not to be any better this year.
So heading up, we had one of their assistant coaches on this very show,
Mr. Austin.
Mr. Austin.
Austin was great.
He was.
He was.
Yeah, he was a good guest.
I was on that show.
You were on that show
Yeah.
with Austin?
Yeah.
How about that? Oh, me and you hosted, right?
Yeah.
Robert was on one of his trips to Studebakers or something like that? No, Stormy, I was just kidding.
Cut it. No, I was here when he was here. He just came in. Now I was not on a worldly adventure. I did
softball. Was it
It
softball?
was probably softball. Robert
But I
Snow
met
played
Austin,
softball.
and I wouldn't have met him if I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah. I'm
That's
trying to
probably true.
We had another guy that played baseball, too, at KSU. Was it Cole?
Austin
No,
Upshaw.
Cole Loden?
Cole Loden was football.
No, he was football, yeah.
He played safety.
Yeah, so Austin's the
Great
only baseball
safety,
player
too.
we've had from KSU.
I believe so.
I
Yes.
think we
And
did
now-
have,
and now he's a coach.
and we did have Nate Peters, but he played. No, we had another guy because he played 8 years. Was that Austin that played 8 years in the Red Sox organization?
Yes.
Okay,
In the Cubs.
and
He
and
played,
then,
Austin Upshaw was with the Cubs for a couple years.
was he?
I'm pretty sure that's the one.
Okay, and then we had Nate Peters on the other show that
we
played
had
with
somebody else.
California for
If
8
we're
years.
messing this
Then
up
we
and
had
you're watching,
somebody
we
else that was
apologize, but
part of
we're
the
so good, we
Red
don't
Sox
remember everything.
organization.
Yeah, we had one with the Cubs and one with the Red Sox. I can't
Yes.
remember who it was. Was it Grant Williams? No,
Maybe
Grant
that's who
was
I
football.
wasn't here for. The Red Sox.
That's definitely true. Grant Williams.
Yep.
I
Grant
wasn't here
Williams.
for
That's
Grant
the one.
Williams.
That's the one. That's the show I was on.
All right. Yeah. So you weren't on the Austin show. You were on the
No,
Grant Williams
I was
show.
on the Grant Williams show.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So obviously baseball is up and coming, as is every sport at KSU. But I guess the biggest news of the year is the Owls moving up to Conference USA. That's got to be the highlight of KSU sports, right?
Yeah.
Number one.
Yep. And, it's funny. I went to Georgia Southern after I went to Kennesaw Junior College. And Georgia Southern was genuinely a college town. I don't think Kennesaw can ever be a college town. It needs to be a college megaplex because it's a lot bigger than what Statesboro, Georgia is.
Well,
But our issue here is the school's been around since the early 70s. KSU's been around as Kennesaw Junior College and Kennesaw State College and then Kennesaw University and then Kennesaw State University. So it's been around a long time. So the excitement that we need to build about the KSU Owls is pretty cool. An opportunity to be a part of something that's really at the ground floor.
no, absolutely. And, we'll never be one of those college towns that you were talking about because typically speaking, college towns are always away from something else and they're kind of by themselves. Oxford.
West Lafayette.
West Lafayette.
Well, is
Bloomington.
Athens is really kind of a college town, isn't
Yeah.
It is because it's not right on top of anything else. We are right in the smack dab. If you look at Atlanta and you don't look at just the city limits and you say this is Atlanta, it's right in the middle of it. So, that small town country feel is never going to happen here. We are big, we are awesome, and we're global.
And from time after time after time, when we ask the athletes what draws you to Kennesaw State, it says, man, it's right here.
Yeah.
There's everything
Everything's
to
happening.
do. Everything to do.
Absolutely.
I've got a friend named Larry Darnell that works in the Corps of Engineers for the state of Georgia. And in 1979, when I graduated from college, he came to my graduation party at my church. And he said, Chuck, I'm going to tell you, in 20 years, the center of Atlanta will be Galleria. And he was right on, and it still kind of is.
That's where the
Now-
Braves are now.
Yeah, now especially with the Braves and with the Battery and all that stuff. So there's a lot of good things going on the north side of town. I think the majority of the Braves fans now come from the north side. The people from the south side don't come up as much as they used to.
No, they hate the Braves now,
Yeah, they hate
or
the
at least
Braves.
the owners.
Yep, for moving them out of Turner Field. Yep. But there's a new team to support.
And it's the Kennesaw State Owls.
Ow.
Please don't say it like that. You sound like you went to Georgia.
No,
No, like a fan that never went to Georgia but pulls for Georgia. That's what that sounded like.
Don't
Hey,
always
this
be
is
a
the-
hater.
this
Just
is the
'cause-
KSU
just 'cause you
show.
just because you went to KSU JUCO and then you went to
JUCO.
Georgia Southern
Southern.
doesn't mean you're a Georgia Tech fan. So are you making fun of yourself when you say something like that?
Ooh.
So I'm just like to move on off of that subject and know that KSU, I had this conversation with a friend of mine a couple weeks ago. His name's Wade, And I said, when we were young, you might go 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Actually, when you were young, you go years without seeing one KSU shirt. I challenge anybody within 20 miles of where I am right now in the heart of Kennesaw,
Miller's Ale House,
to not see somebody who's wearing a KSU shirt this week. If you go to Publix, you're going to see 4 or 5 people wearing one. It is building in that direction quicker and faster than we could ever imagine.
it is a viral marketing campaign for KSU.
Once again, it was an afterthought when we were younger.
Yeah.
It honestly was, and it wasn't. That's not what it is. This is a destination. There's people from Indonesia who can hit a golf ball really far. This is where they want to be. There's people who can hit a forehand from Slovenia. This is where they want to be.
And the more we're on TV at these track meets and these tennis matches and getting into Conference USA, there's going to be a lot of that. It's going to get, from my perspective, the most important thing about that is the visibility.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you get a really big TV deal with ESPN to be not only on the regular ESPN networks, but ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN Plus.
And then
you just get that.
Well, I think all
much more
conference.
exposure.
I think all ASUN games now are on ESPN Plus.
Correct, but that's a special package that
Yep.
you have to purchase for that. But you're speaking to the choir, because I'm the one who's texting with you going, everybody, Robert, can you find the game? I can't find the game. That's not going to be happening in another couple years. Oh,
Yeah.
There's the game. So it is going to be huge. If we're able to get players currently, like we are, to make it to almost super regionals in baseball without any fanfare on TV, yeah, it's going to get much better.
And we had 19 signees last week.
Yes,
Isn't that
we did.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Four
For the football team.
4 from different colleges, and the other 15 from right out of high school. So I'm excited about seeing where KSU sports is going, not just football, but the volleyball team. And the volleyball team already plays them at a pretty high level. They got
did.
as high as number 35 this year.
Correct. In the country.
In the
For
country.
For women's
For
volleyball.
women's volleyball.
We were 35th in the country, which, people can say, well, 35th. I can name, you just say Pac-10, Big 12, and Big 10. Well, there's not that many teams in just those 3 conferences. So, it's a lot of people that you're better than. A lot of people.
There's 136 colleges or something like that?
For
Football.
For football, there's like 136. As soon as you get into basketball, man, we got 280. So
358.
358. So volleyball,
wait a
is
second.
following that same
Wait
thing.
a second, Rob. ATI, did you just come up with that number, or is that a solid number?
No, I know that number.
Do you?
Yeah, it's 358. You could double check me, Larry.
Larry doesn't have to. Robert's all over it here.
I'm taking care of this.
So, if there's that many basketball teams, there are probably that many volleyball
Yeah,
teams.
but I mean, that's the other thing is, it's going to help with recruiting, because I mean, you can throw a rock and find a 4-star football player in Georgia. Like everybody and their mothers is a 3 or 4-star player, and now that they're seeing us on TV,
358.
I'm very impressed.
I am,
I
too.
have to tell you, I'm very impressed. Who hired this guy?
I believe you called me.
I did. Yeah.
I called Carrick and you called me.
My grandson. I'm so proud.
They're having a moment.
Pops.
It's the way-
Pops.
I feel like I'm left out of this family tree.
No, son. No, son. You're still a big
No,
part.
just love on my boy.
Okay.
It's all good.
All right. So very exciting news about KSU sports. When the weather gets warm, I want to get out and watch maybe a tennis match or a track meet.
You might see us there taking pictures someday soon.
Yeah, we're working on a deal with KSU Sports where we can be the fan experiential company for KSU Sports and take some pictures.
Absolutely.
We've talked to a couple of people here about working with us, and hopefully that'll come to fruition sometime early in the new year.
2023. Good things coming.
2023, greatest basketball era. MJ, 23.
Unless he had already retired and then he came back, he was 45. Not
Yeah.
really sure.
Yeah, 23. So
23 won 3 titles. Well,
23 should be a good
45
year.
won 3 titles, so they're tied.
Did he win three at 45 as number 45?
Yeah, because he won 3 before he played baseball, and he won 3 after he played baseball.
Wow.
MJ?
Yeah.
He didn't win 3 NBA titles with the Wizards.
No, he played for the Bulls when he came back.
No, he came back and he played for the Wizards.
Come on, you were not alive. I assure you can take your 358 reasons.
He played for the Bulls until
1994, and then he won in 91. He won. No, listen,
Larry, the
listen.
engineer's got something to say.
No.
He's miking up.
He played for the Bulls until he
90
won. He
listen.
had 2 3-peats. He played for the Bulls until I want to say 97.
No.
And then he retired to play baseball, and then he came back and played for the Wizards.
No. So if it's really
he retired twice. He played for the Wizards when he after he retired after his 6.
after. So
Yes,
He
I was
never
talking
won a
about-
world title with
no,
the
you're
Wizards.
not talking about.
I was
anything
talking about
358.
when he retired to play for the Wizards.
He won 3 titles, went to Birmingham for 2 years,
Hoover, technically.
and then came back. Technically, he did come back in that second year and played in the playoffs. Did not win the championship. His first full year back, 97, won 97, 98, 99. 3 before, 3 after.
And then
It could have very easily been 8, but
and then the
Houston-
Wizards.
But the Houston Rockets are glad that you left because at least somebody else won a title.
There you go. All right. What is? Oh, KSU. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Michael Jordan and the KSU show.
As soon as you start talking about 23, things just go awry.
It's my fault.
Yeah.
I take full responsibility for
It's
that.
okay, Pop.
Yeah. Thanks, son. So why don't we go ahead and do our other commercial and get it out of the way?
Do you need a delivery right now? As in go now, please? Bearcat Express has expedited shipping on hand-carried items, car, van, or pickup. Whether it's from Memphis to Augusta, Dothan to Charlotte, or even just Athens to Atlanta and all points in between. We've got the drivers to get your stuff where it needs to be. Whether your passport's still on the dresser, your 7-iron didn't make it in your bag, or you have a dog that hates to fly, Bearcat Express with their live tracking capabilities is the team to turn to. We are the go-to courier in the Southeast. Check us out at bearcatexpress.com.
And once again, thank you, Blair Cook. Talked to Blair today and David McDonough for being sponsors of not only the Owl Show, but Three Guys Who Love Sports. We're looking for other sponsors. If you'd like to be a part of this family, it would be, 470-9-GO-OWLS, 470-9-GO-OWLS, if you want to text us, because we are looking to raise NIL money for KSU sports. As we talked many times on this show, if you give $500 to Georgia, or you give $500 to Alabama or Clemson or Ohio State, the winner of the Peach Bowl, then it doesn't mean much. But if you give it to to Kennesaw State, I look at Kansas. If you give it to Kennesaw State, it means a lot. You become a part of a family that is in the bottom level of great growth as we enter the Conference USA. And, I'm about tired of hearing people say, well, we need to win at this level before we move up. But they are very blindsided. Number one, it's already sailed. But those people are just talking about football. And KSU sports is so much more than just football.
It's basketball and volleyball and baseball and track and field.
It is.
Tennis,
and,
women's lacrosse.
Everybody wants to have a trophy. Everybody loves a picture holding a trophy. And I get that moment for KSU football seems like it has passed us because we're not going to be at that level. But 100 years from now, and I know you're thinking to yourself, Robert, what do you know about 100 years ago? You didn't even know there's 358 basketball teams that played. The fact of the matter is that this school is getting exponentially better every year. And at the end of the day, it's a great move. Great move.
I've been saying it all along. Just from an exposure and a financial position, it's as good a move as you can be. And it's got to be done. You're not going to grow staying where you are. Change is always good. I don't know what people tell you. Change is good.
If you want to see something that doesn't change, and yes, winning programs come and go and everything else, pop on the 1AA championship game, which will be the Dakotas playing each other. Nobody's going to the Dakotas. These teams are going to win at that level for a while because they're not going to move up. They are not material to make it to the next level.
They don't have the facilities. They don't have Nobody wants to go play up there
No, I know I don't.
No.
in that frozen
I
tundra.
don't even want to go watch them. And they have a dome for North Dakota.
Do they?
They do.
Yeah, North Dakota does have a dome. I'd consider going to see North Dakota play.
Oh, I'd go watch that game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're talking about how much money you can give to some of these bigger schools. I know from personal
Experience.
well, no, I was going to say experience, but I wasn't paying the bill, so I wanted to stop. But I know a guy who is a season ticket holder in Tuscaloosa. And do you know how much it cost him, not for season tickets, for the donation where he becomes eligible for season tickets?
100,000.
It's 10. It's $10,000 that you cut a check for the university. And this is 6 or 7 years ago that I had this conversation. So you have to cut a check for 10 grand and then hope that one day they allow you to buy tickets.
Almost
Holy
like the Masters lottery.
Show up at KSU. I don't want to tell you anybody's office, but show up at a KSU
Check
official
with $10,000
with
bucks.
$10,000 and tell them, who do I give this to and where do I sit?
And you own the town.
And you will love KSU sport.
And you should. Like I said,
Absolutely.
a big part of this is exposure, and the money is going to be on our shoulders, and that's us being the community and the people that support KSU sports. I mean, this town needs to bleed black and gold every day.
And you need to get to the seats.
Yep.
Butts
Yeah,
in chairs.
Butts in seats. That's exactly right. Yeah. And I've been to a couple of basketball games. Wouldn't be surprised if I got a call from Garrett Brackett tomorrow saying, "Hey, Chuck, I got some tickets to the game tonight. Do you want to go?"
And I'm just going to throw this out. I hope Garrett's watching at home. I hope everybody's watching.
I miss
at
you,
home.
buddy.
Hey, Garrett, you asked me to go to a game once, and I told you I couldn't because of softball. But you could throw me another invitation, and I'd be jumping on board, and just throwing that out there.
That's a big difference between me and Robert. Robert has a life. I have none. So I can always go.
It looks like a fun time.
It is a fun time. And not only that, my good buddy Sean Betts, I don't know if you know Sean, he works in the athletic department there. They give you a bag of goodies when you sit down on the floor. Got like a Rice Krispies treat in it, and goldfish, and some gummy bears, and a little bottle of water.
Hey, you ever wanted to make Pop happy?
That's dinner for me, baby.
Here's a Rice Krispie treats. I'm going to save that for next Tuesday.
No, that doesn't even make it to the tip-off. That's usually gone about the time I sit down and open my bag.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot of fun. I have a friend Tyson who, while I was texting with some other people and they were talking about what KSU needs to do and how they need to do it, he sent me a picture. He was at one of the basketball games a week ago, and he didn't get any. He took his son there. He's got a 7-year-old son. That 7-year-old doesn't understand that KSU isn't the same as Georgia and Alabama the way we think we do.
Yeah.
Which we're all mistaken.
Garrett's got a son. Garrett's got a son just like that.
Right.
Yeah. And because Will wasn't there, Will the Thrill Renfro, who is traveling in San Antonio, him and Charlie, they flew out today, and I hope they're having safe travels and a good trip. But I can't remember Garrett's son's name. I apologize. But in Will's absence, he handled the whose ball, go Owls trick for Will. So it was really, really cool. And that's somebody that we need to be replicated and replicated and replicated. Just like Robert said, these kids need to be indoctrinated to be Owls and not Jackets and not Bulldogs.
And if you've taken your kid anywhere or you thought about it and you think, well, parking's $50 to go to State Farm and the tickets cost it, and no, come right here, spend hardly anything and have an experience that your kid's going to actually remember for a long time to come.
Not only remember, but want to come back. And want to come back.
Not to mention we're on a heater at home. Longest winning streak in school history.
6 games. And I think the game Friday's at home, isn't it? Check that out and see if it's – I think it's Austin P. Is it Austin P? No, it's Central Arkansas, I think, till we play.
I thought it was
the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
No, the girls play Coast – no.
I know that one, too.
Yeah. The Mariners. I learned that, Coastal Georgia.
Yes.
Thanks to my grandson, ATI.
The more you know.
The more you know.
The more
Knowledge
you know.
is always good.
So, like we said, the ASUN conference game opens this Friday.
I have them saved in ESPN app.
They are
Central Arkansas.
on,
The Central Arkansas
on
Bears.
Saturday.
Is it Saturday here?
Yep.
New Year's Eve?
Mm-hmm.
And then again
What time
on
is the game?
January 2nd.
What-
2 p.m.
2 p.m. So you could watch that and then go home and watch Michigan
Yep.
and TCU at 4,
Yep.
and then watch Ohio State at 8.
And then
Yes.
on January 2nd, while you're out of work because you got that as a day off because New Year's Day fell on a Sunday.
Just like
you
Christmas did.
You can go see Eastern Michigan because they're in town at 6:30 on Monday.
And then on Thursday,
They play Eastern Michigan or Eastern Kentucky?
Eastern Kentucky.
Oh, Eastern Kentucky. The Governor. No, the Hilltop. No, that's Western. Well, don't tell me.
Western Kentucky is the
no,
Hilltoppers.
Colonels. Eastern Kentucky Colonels.
Yeah, I think they're Colonels.
Yeah, they are.
And then, because you're feeling the need to see some more KSU sports, you can see them play. I guess that's at North Florida. You could go down to North Florida.
UNF, is
it's
that in Jacksonville?
Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Jacksonville's
that's
a
not
great
that
town.
far.
Go to Bono's Barbecue while you're down there. That's good stuff.
Go to Charlotte the next game. Yeah, there's a lot of good games coming up on both the men's and women's side. The women have been just a hair short on a few of these games, but I think they're getting ready to hit their stride as soon as we get to the A-Sun.
Well,
I think
again,
all
some of the
these big
games, all these non-conference games lead you up to winning the conference. Doesn't matter
Absolutely.
where you are now. It's where you are after you play your conference games.
Anybody can make the NCAA tournament as long as they win their conference tournament.
Wouldn't that be cool to see KSU
How fun!
in the final, in the tourney?
Just to make the tournament and say, okay, they get Purdue, they get number 1 in the country, Purdue.
And we're a 16 seed and we upset them. How cool would that be? Adam, who would you pull for in that game?
KSU, obviously.
Don't put him on the spot like that. I saw him crossing his legs right beforehand.
He crossed a lot of things
Yeah.
to get away with that answer. Yeah.
No, but as we talked about it last week, if you're a high school basketball player and you come to KSU and you think, well, I'm going to play and everything, an opportunity to go to Bloomington last week. Holy moly! If these guys put it together at the right time in late February, early March, and like I said, anything can happen.
St. Peter's proved that last year, and that's all we'll say about them. But it's always an opportunity. Now, we have had a 16 beat a 1, did we not?
Yes, UMBC
Virginia.
Yeah,
beat Virginia, University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
UMBC. That's right. Yeah.
Baltimore County.
They're the Retrievers.
People who lived 4
I
miles
love
down
this
from
guy.
their road didn't even know there was a school there. Let alone that there was
Well, I
357
got to tell you
others.
that there's a lot of people that live here that don't know there's a school at KSU.
And that's the problem.
Yeah,
That's what we're here for.
Absolutely the problem. Yeah. So a lot of good ball games coming up. Just because it's winter doesn't mean that sports stops at KSU. We're going to be rocking and rolling every week. It's hard to believe we're about to enter our 5th month of doing this show, and it just keeps getting better and better every week. I think we're a little slow tonight because of the holidays, and a lot of people are out of town. Our usual crowd is not here, but the place is packed. Miller's is packed.
Absolutely.
Just not a lot of regular people that we typically see.
But they are regular people. I mean, they're like not mutants.
Well,
or
that one
anything,
guy over there
Miller's.
looks pretty irregular, but I don't want to get into that.
I mean, look at that hat he's wearing. I mean, of course he doesn't know anything.
Yeah, we got a couple of Big Ten guys sitting in here.
Yes, we do over here. We got
With the one's Northwestern and
other guys in
Michigan
Michigan State.
Michigan. Did he know Mike Wilbon? Did he go to Northwestern with Mike
I
Wilbon?
don't believe so.
I didn't ask.
You know who Mike Wilbon is, don't you?
No.
Pardon the interruption.
Pardon the interruption.
Oh, okay,
The only
yeah,
show worth watching on every sport
Kornheiser.
politicized now.
That is a good show.
Yeah.
No,
And
I
you know,
only watch.
I kind of match me and you with them because they're about the same age apart as them.
So I'm the black guy and you're the old white guy.
Definitely.
I don't mind that.
I'm definitely the old white guy.
I like both of them, but if I had to be compared to one, I mean, he is a stinking Cubs fan. But outside that, I'll take the.
I
Wilbon.
agree with Wilbon most of the time, but
I agree with both of them. Yeah, they're both pretty smart.
It's a really good show. It's the one show before that I can't take.
I'm more of a first take guy.
Are you?
Yeah.
Who is that's not Stephen A. is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Anything but Stephen A. Please.
anything, anybody.
I don't know what
I
it
don't
is.
mi-
I
I
just
don't-
enjoy.
What's
just
the
enjoy
co-host? The guy who used
Max
to,
Kellerman.
You're right. He's an old boxing guy.
Yes.
I love listening to him talk about just about anything. Sorry, no Stephen Smith for me.
No, zero. Zero. So, what do we think KSU needs to do? And we've talked about this ad nauseum, but we'll do it again because we got a little time. What do we need to do to get the public involved? They sent out a football survey to everybody that's gone to a game. Did you get that, Adam?
I did not.
Did you get that, Robert?
I did not.
I think you can still go on the website at KSUOwls.com
Give your opinion.
and give your opinion about what they need at football games. I'm telling you, I went to the Virginia Georgia Tech Sleep Fest back in October or November when they played on a Thursday night, and the game itself was the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life. He's
been around a while. He's seen some really boring things.
But the experience of being at Grant Field is tough to beat. The lights on and off and all this stuff, and those are the kind of things. I would love to see more night games at KSU. Not the 5 o'clock kickoffs, but like the 7 or 8 o'clock kickoffs. And I think when we get into the Conference USA schedule and we have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night games, that's all we're going to get.
You're absolutely correct.
Which I
with
think
those
is
with-
fantastic.
Absolutely.
I've been to at least one KSU night game
Yeah.
when we played Point. I want to say I think it was Point.
Point out
And that
North
was a
Carolina.
Did you know that Jason Longacre played football at Point? Jacob?
I did not.
That was just here? Jacob
I
played
did
at Point
not.
University. Yeah. I don't think they played KSU when Jacob was there.
I don't
know.
believe so either.
Yeah, but that's where he played football. So that's what I think. We need a better fan experience, and that's what I wrote about in the survey. We need to get the fans more involved. And again, Robert mentioned earlier, I don't know, was this on this show or the other show,
I don't know. I've mentioned so many things.
about us taking pictures in the crowd.
Yes, it was this.
No, that was this show.
Yeah.
So we're working on a potential contract with the NIL department where we would go into these seats and take photos and sell them to you with the stats and the data of that day.
You know, there's so many things to get you into the. How do you get butts in chairs? Well, first thing you got to have something that people want to see. Well, the men's basketball team is currently doing that for you. There's only so many things that we can tell you. Sooner or later, you're going to have to make that long drive to Chastain Road, and I'm sure it's
To the
really
Convocation Center.
really far from wherever you live, and go check out a game. If it's not your cup of tea, you come the next Wednesday and you tell us why you left. I guarantee that won't happen, but you'll probably go back a second time, and then who knows, maybe you'll be our fan of the week one day.
Yes, and we are always looking for fans of the week and ex-athletes of the week and current athletes of the week. So we'll pick up that schedule again starting next year, which is next Wednesday.
I believe
Because-
we already have somebody scheduled, correct?
Are your friends?
Yeah.
I have not called them, but yeah.
I think we have possibly the most decorated athlete in KSU history going to be on the show next Wednesday,
You mean other than me?
other than Chuck, who was
You were an
the
athlete?
he was the intramural champion
2 years in a row at KJC, man.
Of what?
Basketball.
of anything intramurals.
You were?
31 points a game at point guard, baby. We tore it up for 2 years, the Eagles. So Grace or somebody told me that the trophy has to still be over there somewhere. So this guy may be good, but we'll see.
He might have won an award named for Jerry Rice, but outside that, he'd probably not.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you.
Oh, yeah, we'd love to have anybody. We've had a lot of guests. If you think about it, we've had some really, really, really good guests
We have.
on the show.
have,
And
yeah.
fans from the Long Acres to, of course, Carrick Martin, who we honored last week with a little surprise party. Carrick, I know you're enjoying your snow day up in Ellijay. Saw your pictures on Facebook. Would love to be there.
Garrett or Will or, so many different fans.
Jan and Elise, Rich Hall, Kevin DeLong. Kevin was on with us last week. Tom Chanel. We've had a lot of fans that have not only been on the show but helped us in terms of getting tickets, in terms of letting us use their tailgating spot to broadcast from in a couple of football games. So there are a lot of people that are on board about KSU sports, and you just need to be a part of it.
And if you get an opportunity, ask Kevin DeLong, hey, why should I go? maybe he'll drag you to the next game. There's a lot of people who enjoy going and want to spread the word.
And a lot of times I get tickets. If you want to text, was it 4709 Go Owls and say, hey, Chuck, I'd like to go to a game. If I get offered tickets, I'll take you because I always want to take somebody new to a game and let them experience what I've experienced when I've been at the ball games, which is nothing but joy and Rice Krispie treats. So,
well, you keep going with Garrett and Will, and we've heard enough stories about those.
Courtside seats are a blast. Garrett has courtside seats, and I think Will just bought some too. And I know Carrick and Garrett are too close, but they both have courtside seats for ball games, and there's nothing like that. When I keep telling Garrett one day I'm going to kick the referee in the butt while he's standing right in front of me. I think that'd be kind of fun, but I don't want to get thrown out of the game.
Please don't.
Don't kick.
Don't kick him, or don't want to get thrown out of the game.
Don't kick anybody.
Okay.
Especially a zebra.
Because then it's a technical foul.
I have had my share of technical fouls. So.
I also have had my share of technical and flagrant fouls.
Oh, flagrant even?
Yeah, I got ejected.
Really?
Yeah.
Adam, I don't see that in you at all.
ATIs get a mean streak.
ATI? Wow.
I got ejected one game.
For something you said to the referee?
No. I was this was an AAU game about, I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago. My
Basketball,
coach,
right?
yeah. My coach told me to intentionally foul, and I grabbed the kid by the shoulders, and he ran away, and he fell on the ground, and I get ejected.
I'm very impressed. That's 2 things you've done
The
today.
enforcer.
When I went to Georgia Southern, I was the coach of the Baptist Student Union girls team.
I heard they were really good that year, Chuck.
And I led the league in technicals representing the Baptist Student Union, so that probably wasn't the best thing to do. But, we had a great intramural team at Kennesaw Junior College.
Chuck, we're looking for a new coach, one that doesn't cuss so much with the Baptist team.
That would leave me out. Well, I didn't cuss. I just yelled a lot. I get in. I'm a very competitive person.
I do want to personally thank everybody who's turned us on. 4 months into this show that we didn't even know we were going to be doing. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait till next year and all the guests who are going to grace us with their presence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that. They're going to praise. And, I have to say this. We don't talk much about Larry, the engineer, from a positive perspective. But Larry's here every week, too, and setting up the shows, and getting us ready. And ATI, what a pleasant surprise this guy has become. Wait, Robert's going to give Larry a hug or something. I don't know. Oh, he's going to go show Larry on the...
Larry the engineer.
Larry the engineer, ladies and gentlemen. So the only thing wrong with Larry is he's a Georgia fan. But other than that, we'll keep him.
Do we have to?
Yeah. And ATI has been an extremely pleasant surprise. So we appreciate their time for being out here. What a fun year it's been. What's been your favorite moment being on the show, Adam? I'd like to hear this.
Oh, I don't know. I've really enjoyed all of it. Any chance I get to be on the show is a great time.
That's how I feel.
There's Alexis. Alexis was the waitress at our Three Guys Who Love Sports draft party, and she's still working here at Miller's. Look at her working so hard.
Yeah. There's probably so many people drinking water. She almost left after that. She's like, good God, what are all these people drinking water?
At our draft party?
Yeah.
Well, it's probably because we had to be lucid and try to pay attention to what you were doing.
Not all of us did. I'm in the Super Bowl. How you doing?
And you're in the Super Bowl. I'm watching you in the Super Bowl. But, I did wind up over 500.
That's good. That's good.
I fought back.
You had a good team, Chuck.
I had a good team. I just fell on some tough luck. Kind of like the women's basketball team at KSU.
But once again,
was that a good segue?
That's preparing them for the
it's a good segue.
A what? A swagway. What's
yes.
a swagway? Get that water away from Adam.
Once again, even though the men have won 6 straight at home, these losses at Florida or Ole Miss or Indiana, they are preparing them for the conference. And when you're in a smaller conference, that's all you're looking for, because most likely the only team that makes it from the A-Sun is going to win the conference championship.
Yeah.
You can go 20 24-0 during the regular season. You don't win that conference tournament, you're not getting an automatic.
Yeah, because
You're not getting
I guess
an at-large bid. You won't
now,
get an at-large
are
bid.
we eligible this year?
We are still eligible, I believe, for basketball.
Yes.
Not for football.
It's football that stops.
We
next year.
might, unless
It might be next year that we're not
unless
eligible.
for
Possibly.
No, I think we are eligible unless the ASUN decides that we're not eligible, because I remember
Well, the
this
Sun
year.
probably doesn't like us because we're leaving them.
This year, I think Bellarmine or like Stony, it might have been Bellarmine,
Stony Brook.
won their conference tournament and did not make the NCAA tournament because they were getting ready to leave the conference, and the conference decided they weren't eligible.
Well,
So
how-
did they send anybody from the conference?
They sent the second
the
place team.
runner-up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, how awful is it that the conference that you're leaving gets to dictate whether you're going or not? That's like calling your ex-girlfriend on the phone. Hey, I'd really like to go home with this person, but the only person who can make that happen is my ex-girlfriend. So, let's call her up and see if she can, bless this situation for me. Probably not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't
Well-
expect the ASUN to give us any awards.
Well, that's probably true. And it's been a good year.
It has been a good year.
Yeah, we've all been things that we've been blessed with, new friendships. Like Robert said, March 1st, I didn't even know Robert, and now I feel like he knows me better than anybody, certainly when it comes to sports. And I think I've got a pretty good grasp on where he is too.
Probably so.
Yeah, and having Larry and Adam here with us, just great blessings. Being a part of something that's so cool, that's going to continue to grow and grow and grow, and hopefully be something huge that we may have to kick ESPN to the curb and take their place at some point in time.
We're going to be on ABC before long, boys.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are, and I don't even know that I've shared this with Robert, but I went to a Christmas after hours event a couple of weeks ago, and they do Saturday television, and they're looking for content, so they're going to take our show,
Three guys who love sports.
and they're going to put it on their TV on Saturdays, and it goes to like 4,000 people in Atlanta.
I
With just
love it.
rabbit ears.
Yes.
So I'm going to meet with them next week. Jennifer wrote me today and said, let's get through the holidays and we'll sit down and talk about it. So lots to be thankful for. We hope you have a lot to be thankful for, too.
I'm going to point at the camera instead of up there.
You
Chuck was
people.
gonna-
Well,
Chuck
I'm
was
pointing to
going-
the people in the bar.
You
and they're
people.
pointing at
I'm
the
pointing
camera.
at the camera. You
Okay.
people.
Yeah. So we hope you have something to be thankful for, too, and we look forward to seeing you not just next week, but every Wednesday next year on
52 times next year.
the
Mhm.
well, maybe 51. Larry has to have Thanksgiving off. We may get
Yeah.
somebody to take Larry's place.
We're going to throw everything in ATI's trunk the week before.
ATI.
I can do that.
There you go. We're on 52
I've run
weeks
streams
next year.
before.
There you go. All right, guys. Until we see you next year in the year 2023, Happy New Year. Be safe. Have fun.
Hooty hoo!
Hooty hoo.